So McDonald's hasn't gotten to the food preparation part. They're doing the food delivery. There's a pizza startup that was trying to do completely automated pizzas, things like that. Which is funny because if you looked at any cartoon that makes pizzas, the pizzas always get out of control when it's an automated solution. The pepperoni ends up at the ceiling. I saw every time someone says that, I always think of that, the pepperoni being on the ceiling. Also a store manager at Target. And I know that Walmart also is trying to automate things. And I know that Amazon obviously is also trying to automate things. And the biggest differentiator at Target was we would actually come over and do customer service and be helpful to you and support you. And so people liked working with us because it was really easy to work with us. One of the things I think is very fascinating about all of this is whether it's being a little short-sighted, for instance, in terms of what the differentiator will be in the future for even fast food or any type of restaurant.
In the age of big data, we make data-driven decisions. Next iteration to that businesses were going to be prioritizing was the automation of that decision making with that data. That's machine learning. That it labels something and makes a prediction, and then AI is the execution of some code to do something automatically for you. And here you're taking this using AI to automate something like making pizzas. And they've tried it before. And a company called Zoom Pizza out of Mountain View, California, raised something like $350 million from SoftBank. And then a year later had to lay off a bunch of people because it doesn't matter if you could perfect the mechanical job of making a pizza. At the end of the day, it was not desirable because nobody actually liked the pizza. Critical thing that needs to be accomplished in product market fit is people want to actually buy that pizza. When you're talking about something like pizza, which is all over the place, you have the bare minimum muster that you have to pass. It doesn't matter that you can make it with a robot. Nobody buys pizza because a robot made it. That's not a decision factor in anybody's mind. One of those things that is nice to have if you can have it. What is the value of a robot making pizza anyway, or any food making robot? Is that it's a scalability or efficiency play for the creator, for the business. Meaning McDonald's wants to open up a store, use these things because they want to eliminate the cost of labor. It is not a benefit to me, the customer. Very little value to the customer. Me as a customer, I do not choose to buy food from a robot. That's not how I make decisions. So you have to make sure as a business, this CapEx, what we call capital expenditure, which is not cheap, that the quality of the output of what you invest in has to meet the standards of the customer who's buying it. And that's really hard to achieve, unfortunately, in this business. For the investors that are out there and the startups that are out there, I am very long on AI. I am not bullish on AI in the restaurants and food because that limitation that exists in AI trained models. And again, you can even look at ChatGPT as an example. It is only trained on data up until 2021. So it can't answer anything about today or tomorrow. That is the same limitation of, let's say, a McDonald's wants to put in a $100,000 machine to make French fries. One change in your menu, what downstream impact does that have on how you run your business? Every little change you do. The benefit of having real people is that they can make decisions in the moment. Something spills on the floor, they know they can clean it up. What is a robot going to do if it hasn't been trained on these unique situations? The other part of that is the other company that's now trying to do this again is Stella Pizza. Two engineers from SpaceX with a lot of knowledge wanted to put all of their knowledge into making a robot making pizza. So many problems to solve. And I think they recently raised something like $16 million. As an investor, these are the things you do need to be looking at is robots now need a different kind of skill set to maintain them. And that's not the same labor pool as the person that can make fries. And so you need to ask yourself, a pizza restaurant who sells $3 slices of pizza, whatever, he has to invest in this robot, invest in the maintenance, and invest in the kind of talent pool that can maintain this robot. Where are these people coming from? And how much is it going to cost? How many pizzas do you need to sell to make that profitable?
Well, it goes back to the infrastructure problem, right? Because like you have a point. There's not enough talent to even maintain the things that I think that they're planning on building. And imagine if you have a McDonald's. I read there was something like the average revenue for the McDonald's across the country was somewhere in the mid six figures, right? So imagine if the McDonald's machine goes down. So talking about my previous jobs, I was a store manager at Target. The Pizza Hut oven went down. we would have to go find like the number for the one company that they would allow to do it. And then we got yelled at all day, and we didn't usually hit our sales goals if the Pizza Hut machine went down. There's a lot of importance of what you just said there. But secondly, no, I'm from Mississippi. One of the main jobs that many people in Mississippi have are retail and restaurant jobs. So if you're going down to Mississippi, chances are they're not going to be interested in you down there. So the other part of this is if you don't figure out ways to make this work, right? I think that generally speaking, a lot of companies are like, well, if I could just make it work in 4 or 5 key areas or regions or whatever, it will be sufficient. I'm not sure if I agree with that because I think that resource constraints are going to continue to be a major issue across the board for basically forever, whether it's resources around talent, whether it's resources around the materials, whether it's resources around the people who are building these products, right? It's just going to be an issue. I don't understand the short-sightedness of focusing on this when there's that bigger problem that probably is the billion-dollar idea that could actually support this next idea. It's kind of like the Jetsons. They probably figured out how to do flying cars before they figured out how to make the food appear in a little machine. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Right. There's a little bit of product market fit. There is a place for this type of technology, and it's wherever you have a discrete advantage, meaning where there is no better alternative than your pizza making robot. And that's in places where the audience is captured, like a stadium, and where they just want to get back to their seat and efficiency and time is a priority for the proprietor there and for the customer, right? Like one of the things I never do is eat at an event. If I have to go to a show, a concert, whatever, I never eat at that concession stand. It's a horrible experience. The food sucks and it's overpriced. So I'm not a customer there. But apparently there are some people who do it and they have to mosey on through that line and they wait in line and things like that and they want to get back to the show. This is where I see some technology like this working. You clearly don't have standards. You're eating the pizza at this place anyway. So,
Well,
what is your
it,
complaint?
if you kind of extrapolate that out, like I remember when I was in college, having a elf like making pizza restaurant thing at like 10 o'clock at night probably would have been very effective as well, right? Because I just needed something to eat, and all the places closed much earlier.
Discrete advantage.